Hello again, it's great to be back. I'll get straight to the tutorial and give some updates at the end. But do me a favor real quick and drop a like on the video to regain some traction on the algorithm. In this tutorial, we'll be crafting this articulating shoulder armor out of leather. This component is part of a series, and you are free to craft the full suit, or pick and choose among current and future themes to build your own unique suit. If you'd like to follow along and build this item yourself, head over to the Prince Armory Academy and pick up the pattern, or feel free to just watch the tutorial and use any tips you learn in the video towards your projects. Before you commit any materials to this project, I always suggest you make a paper mock-up first to make sure you're happy with the size and fit of the piece. Refer back to the fantasy armor tutorials to demonstrate this process in greater detail. In the case of these pauldrons, it's pretty flexible and largely up to your preference as to how big or small you want them to be, but I suspect the default 100% scale will be suitable for most. But if not, you can scale the pattern up or down to suit your preferences and fit. When you are happy with the scale of the patterns, then we have to cut out the components. The leather I'm using here is 9 to 10 ounce veg tanned leather from Weaver. The patterns in the Imperial Knight series offer options for both cutting by hand and by laser. I know most of you will be cutting by hand, but since the Fantasy Armor tutorial series already covered this in depth, I'm going to save a little bit of effort and use my Glowforge for the cutting. If you happen to be in the market for a Glowforge yourself, I do have an affiliate link where you can save up to $500. It's also possible to laser etch some designs at this stage too. When you have all of the components cut out, you have to decide how or even if you wish to embellish it. You can actually just skip straight to the assembly if you wish, but as a general starting point for any project, I suggest at least beveling your edges. And in this example, I'm going to do a very simple border here. But just remember that you are free to decorate the piece however you see fit. Past and future tutorials demonstrate many other tooling and decoration options that can be used in this or any other project. I'm using my swivel knife to carve over the laser score line, but if you're cutting by hand, just use a wing divider to score the perimeter. From there, I will pick out a textured stamp tool and go around the edges. I'll do a lighter pass a little further out from the edge to feather and fade the texture. Then to make the edge pop a little more, I will bevel against the border. If you're just starting out, just start with something simple like this, and as you expand your skills, keep challenging yourself with new techniques. If you put in the mileage, you will grow as an artist. Don't be bothered if you do not have these particular tools. There's so many options you can choose from in the world of tools, and nobody starts out with a ton of tools. We all start with whatever we can afford and grow the collection over time. It's a bit of an illness. I generally like to give my pieces a little shape by forming the leather slightly while it is still damp over a curved surface like this metal dome or something common like a baseball. This step is completely optional, but it does add a little strength, and it can also improve the aesthetic. The next step is to dye your pieces. I'll be using immersion dyeing, which I've already demonstrated in a past tutorial, so there's not a lot to add here, but I can offer another tip. At our main dyeing station, I use these trays to help control the mess. It comes with a sturdy bottom tray and a graded sub tray which lets excess liquids drip through. I bought a bunch on Amazon years ago, so I'll try to find the link to the product and add it to the description. To finish the piece, I'm using a common acrylic gloss finish. I apply it liberally on the front and the back so it absorbs into the leather, which helps to stiffen all of the parts. As we get into the assembly, I'll start by preparing the buckle straps. I'll assume you know how to make the buckles, but if not, I do have a standalone tutorial and free patterns available to get you started. I'll also prepare the retaining straps at this point. Next, I'll attach the guard to the top plate. It helps to have an elevated surface for setting the rivets, like a small or medium anvil, but you can always just turn the piece over and set them flat from the back with a common hammer. The individual plates are called lames, and I will start with the smaller bottom lame and work my way up, ascending to the larger lames. The patterns will include templates for the retaining straps. The shorter ones with equal spacing will be attached at the sides, and the longer ones will go in the center, starting with the closer spacing at the bottom. You may want to add a strap to the upper arm to keep things stable when wearing it, especially if you'll be active, though for costume wear it isn't strictly necessary. I'll be attaching these directly to the breastplate, but if you watch the Fantasy Spaulders tutorial, you could in fact borrow the chest strap assembly for those and make them standalone. As we progress into more and more tutorials, you'll start learning more options and tricks that you can pull for any project. The last thing to do is to attach the straps to the breastplate. There is some flexibility in where you place the straps, and you can get by with one strap instead of two if you wish. So the Imperial Knight is the second theme of armor that has been offered in the Academy, and this is where things start to get really cool in my opinion, as we start opening the door to more and more customization. Many of the designs we work on will be modular, so for example you could build a suit in one theme and swap in the helmet of another theme if you like it more, or you could substitute this pauldron design to go with the previous fantasy armor theme, or you could merge techniques learned from the fantasy armor Spaulders to make these function as a standalone item. There are many more themes planned after this. We're truly at the tip of the iceberg, so keep building, subscribe to the channel, keep learning, and I can't wait to see what you create. On that note, I just want to take a second to let you know about our Discord channel. There are hundreds of students sharing their works and giving and getting help from fellow students. Discord is a platform where you can join private communities like ours with various chat rooms that can be accessed by the web or an app. Here's a quick highlight of some of the recent posts in the Academy project board. As you can see, people are doing some great works and connecting over a love of craft. I hope you'll feel welcome to join in. Some of the tools and materials in this tutorial were provided by Weaver Leather. I'll have an affiliate link to their online store in the description for the next time you need to stock up on hardware and materials. Special thanks also go to our patrons for their continual support. Having support from patrons helps in the creation of more content like this. I'm also looking forward to sharing more behind the scenes content, doing more community builds, and sharing more exclusive content as the community grows. I hope to see you there. I also enabled memberships on YouTube, where I hope to mirror these perks equally. Would you like to join us? And now for some updates. Since the last tutorial, we had to move unexpectedly, so be sure to check out the latest vlog to see our new home studio with a bit of a shop tour. Now that things are back in motion, I hope to finish up the Imperial Knight series as quickly as possible, and then get rolling on the next 2 themes, which will expand the scope of the Academy tremendously. One will flesh out the basics, and the other will start exploring the more elaborate and complex techniques and designs. To learn more, visit the website and follow us on social media.